Single-player games are dead and we killed them. It's been a debate for a while now on if single-player or multiplayer games are better. On the one hand, single-player games are able to tell wonderful stories, have great mechanics, and make the player more invested in the game that they're playing. Let's just take a look at Elden Ring for a minute. Elden Ring is a single-player game that heavily focuses on how you play, your strategies, and your decisions. The game is meant to be played by one person. If it was multiplayer, it would be an entirely different game. And on the other hand, multiplayer games can lead to more memorable moments with your friends. And hey, they don't even have to be with people you know. Multiplayer games can be played with anyone online. Please note, sharing the YouTube channel do not advocate for people to start finding strangers online to play video games online with them. Ensure that the game and other people you are playing online with are safe and don't endanger you or anyone else. Please don't be an idiot online. Just ensure that you're in a safe place when playing these games. Don't get personal information strangers online. It's been said before, and yet people still fall victim to this, so don't do it. Isn't that great? Recently, my friends have gotten me into Lethal Company and Rocket League. In both games, I'm able to have a great time just sitting back and hanging out with my friends. There is a whole discussion that can be made about the online community in these kinds of games, but that's a video for another time. Now, in recent years, people have been debating over which type of game is better, single player or multiplayer. Over the years, I've seen that many usually pick multiplayer games to be the winner, and it's really clear why. Let's just look at games that came out from a few years ago. Fortnite, PUBG, Overwatch, Valorant, Among Us, Sea of Thieves. These are all really strong multiplayer games. While some have died off and some have tried to overstay their welcome, others have flourished way beyond what I ever thought they would. I was never the biggest of fans when it came to Fortnite, mainly because I'm just bad at shooters, but seeing a game go from a simple battle royale to something that hosts concerts, it's clear why multiplayer games are so popular. They're able to bring people together in new and exciting ways. Staying on Fortnite for just a little longer, multiplayer games are also able to update their game and sometimes add entirely new modes to it. Hearing about something new coming to the games excites fans of the series and gives newcomers an even starting ground. When I heard that Fortnite was bringing back the original map, I finally decided to give it a try because it felt like a fresh start. From this angle, it's clear why multiplayer games have been considered the winner for this debate. But let's look at the other side now, at single-player games. The Last of Us is an incredible game. I don't think I have to explain that. For anyone who hasn't played the game but instead watched the show, the story's the same, and it's a great one. In some cases, the environments can also be much more detailed because you're given the opportunity to explore on your own. Seeing the details in these environments and the time taken to craft them builds the world incredibly. I know I just said that I was getting into Rocket League, but there are times when games can become too competitive or too stressful. Well, I don't have to worry about that in a single-player game. These games typically focus on just providing a fun game to play for one player. And before anyone asks, yeah, not all single-player games purely focus on stories. In some cases, they're just a fun game. Thumper is a game that comes to mind for me on a game that has no real story, but it's still really fun to play. There's a few levels in this game that can really get you invested with just how great the controls are. Single-player games have the ability to get a single person invested in their game. I guess it's about that time of the video where we need to start figuring out a winner. So, without further ado, I present to you the definitive and true winner of this debate, hands down. Between single-player and multiplayer games, the better of the two is... Both types of games have been successful in their own ways. PUBG has sold over 75 million copies. Fortnite has over 350 million copies sold and millions of players on each day. Many single-player games can't reach these numbers, but they're nothing to sneeze at either. Super Mario Wonder sold 4.3 million copies in 2 weeks, making it the fastest-selling game in the Mario series. Spider-Man 2 sold just over 5 million copies. And these numbers aren't just for big AAA games either. Undertale, an indie game made by just one person, sold over 3.5 million copies. Numbers can't define how successful a game is. What does is how these games impact you. Multiplayer games have brought players from around the world to different competitions and esports events. And single-player games have done just about the same. Just look at the speedrunning community. Both types of games have done good for their community and bring people together in their own ways. Like I said at the start of this video, both types of games have their ups and downs, but you can't have one of the two. Single-player games and multiplayer games have their places in the world. It's time we start realizing that. So what do you think? What kind of games do you prefer to play in your spare time, single or multiplayer? Let me know in the comments. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video, and remember to chase the chaos.